I have been building up the pressure in my mind for this project. Nice! Oh, this has been frustrating. This is the new bit. This video is sponsored by Squarespace, but more on that later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new sewing project. I'm gonna go ahead straight away and tell you that I am very nervous about this project, and I don't know why. I actually came up with this idea a year and a half ago, before we even moved into this house. I decided I wanted to do this project, bought all of the materials, and then I chickened out. I have been building up the pressure in my mind for this project for no reason whatsoever. Basically what I want to do is create a dress that is heavily inspired by Eowyn's Shieldmaiden dress in The Lord of the Rings. It's that lovely white gown that she wears with the long drapey sleeves that are bound around the arms, and then she has a brown like corset vest top over it. I think that's an absolutely stunning costume and I would absolutely love to recreate it. And I think maybe this is where all of the pressure arises. I have never done cosplay before. I've never tried to actually recreate something that is real, I don't think, and this complicated and this beloved. Back when the movies came out in the early 2000s, there were exhibitions, the costume traveled across the world, it was viewable, and people took pictures of it. There is a lot of information about this particular dress to be found online. It's very funny to research because all of these websites are from the early 2000s and they look like they are. Some of them aren't online anymore, lots of dead links. The pictures are blurry in small resolution, but even with all of that, there is a lot of information and pretty much anything you could need to recreate this costume to a screen accurate level is available online. However, I don't think I will be able to replicate it to a screen accurate level, and that's also not what I want to do here. I kind of just want to play with this silhouette, this dress, the idea of this dress, and make it my own. There are some things about it, about the like screen version, that I don't like as much. It has a typical 2000s low waist. The focus is on the hips. I prefer mine to be at the waist. Also, the material. The Eowyn Shieldmaiden dress is made out of silk, a beautiful silk that is first of all creped. It is also stripy and it has like this brocade pattern to it. A very unique silk. I have actually tried to find it, wasn't able to find anything that even closely resembles it. Also, I really just want to make this out of linen because I feel like this dress would be good in linen. Eowyn is obviously a character of high social standing, but I feel like just the whole, for harem as a whole, linen fits with that kind of world. I'm gonna make it out of linen. I have a bunch. I have had this giant wad of linen. I think I got 10 meters maybe? The thing with linen is, obviously linen and silk are two completely different materials. This is gonna be much thicker and much stiffer and is gonna drape differently. So that is kind of number one where I'm gonna deviate from the original. I need to make it linen appropriate. So there are probably gonna be some changes that I have to make in order to make this work. I've also decided to make this a dress. Now, from the research I've done, I feel like this, the chemise part of the Shieldmaiden dress, it's never actually shown without the corset top. It is, however, sometimes worn with a different skirt. I personally think that this is made of two different pieces and that the top and the skirt are separate. I'm gonna make it a dress, just a single dress, and I'm gonna give it a waist seam just because. I think for now I have talked enough. There's been a lot of talking. I think maybe we just need to get started. This project is gonna be created entirely by trial and error. I will probably have to go back and redo things, recut things, take things apart and resew them many times because I have no idea, no plan on how I'm gonna do this. So I'm just gonna have to get started, see where we land. Let's do it. Before we move on, I wanted to take a little moment to tell you a little bit about today's sponsor, because this video, as I mentioned, is very kindly sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is a platform that you can use to build your own website. They are absolutely perfect if you want to do this yourself. Anyone can build a website through Squarespace. They have lots of templates on their website that you can choose as a starting point, and then you can customize to your heart's content. I have been playing around with Squarespace and building my own website on there for a bit now, and it is incredible the amount of options that you have. You can make any vision come to life with this, and they make it so simple. What I've been doing is working with pre-made blocks. They always suggest a bunch of options for every type of section you want to make to your website, and then everything is completely customizable, so you can make everything just the way you want it. I was honestly surprised by just how easy it was to make some really cool, really beautiful things. So if you're looking to make a website for your business, a personal portfolio, if you want to launch an online store, you can do all of that through Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and once you are ready to launch your website, make sure to go to squarespace.com/Loepsie and use code Loepsie to get 10% off of your first purchase of a website or domain. So definitely check that out, and now let's get back to sewing. I'm thinking it'll probably be easiest if I drape the bodice directly on the mannequin. I don't have any pattern that's even close to what I'm trying to create here, and I think that's gonna be the easiest way to get the shape that I'm after. The dress has a very interesting neckline. Around that opening there are pin tucks. Now I haven't quite decided yet if I want to do the pin tucks or not. I will probably have to just try and do some on this linen to see how it looks, and if it's too much, too bulky, or if it does look nice. But for now I am gonna make, just to be sure, the bodice a little bit wider than it needs to be, so that there is room to do pin tucks if I want to. But in the end I do want this to be fairly form-fitting. As I mentioned, she never wears this chemise without the corset top, so what it looks like underneath, no one knows. It'll be nicest and most flattering if it's form-fitting along the midriff, especially with those very big sleeves. Let's drape. It's been a long time since I've done this. So we have the waist down here. Probably have to do a dart. And same thing on the other side, a dart here. I'm trying to just get the basic shape first, and then I can move on and draw the neckline. See, oh, this fabric, I love linen. Sorry, silk, but linen has my heart. Okay, let's draw on the neckline. Shoulder seams here. Try and get that symmetrical. When I drape like this, I like to make both sides and then make the final product, because you only need one obviously because it's mirrored. But then for the final product, I just take an average of both of the sides, and that usually gives me a fairly good idea of what shape I need. Arm side should be something like this, and then we're gonna go down, and then let's leave a little bit of room there for the waist. Okay. Gonna mark where my darts end, and then for this neckline, this, I think, is it centered more or less? So you get that shape, and then there's pin tucks all around here, like around the entire thing, rows of them. And there is also along the edge here embroidery, actually gold thread embroidery, and it's done by a machine. That was very clear on the close-up photos that I saw. So I did get some gold thread, and my machine does do embroidery stitches, so fingers crossed that it works. I feel like there might be issues there with the gold thread, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. First, let's cut this off the mannequin and see what I can make of it. Down here. Okay, I've got to make sure this becomes symmetrical, which it definitely isn't now. So I'm gonna just fold it down what my neckline here says is the center. And I think I'm just gonna trace everything I have with pins, so that when I turn it around, I will see whether the lines match up or not. And then I can decide how I want to cut it. Moment of truth. Oh, that's not too bad actually. Okay, I can just go ahead and cut out this shape right here and it'll be good. I am gonna use the dart from the other side though, because that one looks better. This is gonna have to be bigger for sure. Other than that, looks good. Nice. After looking at the photos, I decided that the neckline was wrong, so I altered the shape a little bit. And I experimented a little with making pin tucks. Now, I think I did a pretty good job. It wasn't hard to do on this little test strip. I don't know how I will feel about them on a rounded, like curved shape. And they do eat up a lot of fabric. So if I want to do these, I'm gonna have to think really hard on how I'm gonna space them out and how many I want to do. I think maybe I'll just do a few, like 3, to give the idea but not eat up too much of my fabric. I think I'm gonna look at the photos, see how spaced out they should be, because I did do them very close together in my little test strip here, and try and mark them out, I guess, on my fabric. This image right here shows that the pin tucks are quite far away from each other and they are super thin. So the ones I made are way too big. This photo also actually shows that the embroidered edge, the gold embroidery, is on a separate piece of fabric. You can see there's a seam right where the pin tuck next to the embroidery would be. There's no pin tuck there, there's a seam where the embroidered part is attached. And then there is no seam along the edge. So I think this is kind of like a facing that just pokes out a little bit and then is folded under. I was just gonna do a classic facing with a seam on the inside, and I think I'm gonna stick to that. Maybe I should just try and make a super thin pin tuck first on this little test strip, just to see if I can do it at all, or if I should stick to maybe thicker pin tucks. I feel like that shouldn't have worked, but look! What? Okay, so what did the trick was just holding my measuring tool up to it the entire time and pivoting like every centimeter. Wow. It took a long time. This took me 10 minutes. Just one. So I think it's gonna be a while, but I'm gonna do all of them because this is gorgeous. This video is gonna be a several-parter. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this in a couple of days, but I want to do it well. I want this to be gorgeous once it's done, and this, I am amazed by this. I honestly didn't think this would work at all. Let's keep going, let's do the next one. My pin tucks are done, and I think they look absolutely gorgeous. I am very happy with these. And in fact, I think these are so cool. I might do this in some of my sewing in the future. I think I'm gonna leave it at 3, just as a little decorative feature. And I've been working on the embroidery. Now, I really want to let my machine do this so that I don't have to do it by hand. It is very clearly done by machine on the photos as well. Metallic thread doesn't really like to be used with a machine. It tends to snap and break and not have even tension, and just all kinds of difficult things with it. But you can see in the close-up, it doesn't actually look that great on the original costume either. I do want it actually to look nice, because this is going to be a real-life garment, obviously. So I'm looking for an embroidery pattern on my machine that will work the best out of all of them and still look kind of nice and fantasy-like. I have a little test patch here. This is the pattern I preferred. It's one with swirls and then little balls on the end. Sorry for the noise, by the way. They are fixing the kitchen downstairs. We're finally getting a ceiling. Yeah, this pattern just rips the thread. It doesn't work. This one with the little leaves does seem to work. And I actually think that one is quite charming. So I think I'm gonna go with the leaf pattern. And I'm gonna run that along the inside here, right next to the pin tucks, and I'm gonna make sure to leave enough room for seam allowance because I am gonna attach a facing to this. So once I have the embroidery, I'm gonna trace this and make a facing, and then I think I'm gonna move on to make the back of this garment, or the back of the bodice at least, and we'll see from there. Oh, this has been frustrating. In the end, oh no, oh, what I'm doing, as I will demonstrate right now, is whenever the thread breaks, or actually what happens, the gold, like the metallic thread, is wound around a cotton or polyester thread, and the metallic part tends to break. So whenever that happens, I don't even move my needle, I don't move the fabric. I just cut it, reinsert, and move on, and I will end up with a pattern full of gaps, but at least the spacing will be consistent, or like the pattern will continue. But it does break a lot, sometimes after 2 or 3 stitches, so it's probably not gonna look very pretty, but I figured I will just finish it by hand after I've done the machine stitching, but this way I can at least ensure some consistency. Oh, broken again. But I can't say I enjoy doing this particularly much. It's very frustrating and time consuming. I did adjust the tension on my machine, which helped a little, but I don't know, for some reason whenever I do it on this, it just keeps going, no problem. But as soon as I take this, which is the exact same fabric, it just starts breaking. But we'll get there eventually. I'm almost at the end. I'm also going very, very slowly here. Oh well, I will come back to you guys once this is done. This is what it currently looks like, and it doesn't look as bad as I feared it would. Lots of loose threads, but the embroidery itself looks pretty okay. The only thing is, like here, you can tell I didn't make my turn fast enough, so it looks a little bit odd. But I'm thinking, do I make this better or worse by redoing that bit? So what I might do here, not remove the stitching that's already there, and just make a second one, and then decide which one I want to remove based on which one looks better. Fingers crossed this works, because it might turn out absolutely horrendous. Okay, no, I do think the new one looks better. So this is the new bit. This is the old one. I think I might just remove a little bit. A couple stitches here, a couple stitches there. Try and make this somewhat symmetrical looking. Ta-da! Here's what we have so far. I finished the embroidery. I ended up just using all of the loose threads to fill in any of the gaps that occurred from the thread snapping, and I think we have a pretty nice continuous pattern now. It's still obviously not perfect, but I think it's good enough, especially if you only look at it from a distance. Still very much in love with the pin tucks, and I think it looks great overall. I did the darts as well, just went ahead and did those. So it's time to now drape the back part of this, and that I'm just going to keep really simple. I could perhaps continue the pin tucks along the neckline in the back here, but I think I won't, and I'll just do a little edge of the embroidery maybe. I think I should continue the embroidery. I think that would look nice, but I don't think I'm going to do the pin tucks because it's going to be really hard to get those at exactly the same width and just make them appear continuous from the front to the back. And I'm just going to do a really simple shape. So let me grab my fabric. Basically just need to make sure that this matches up to the sides. So then here's my back. I might have to do back darts. Maybe I should draw out my shape again so that I can make sure that it's symmetrical. Bring down my arm side, and we're gonna go down along the neck. Alrighty, my back facing is done. My embroidery is done around the back as well. So what I'm gonna do next is attach both of these, right sides together actually, at the shoulders, and then I will be able to put it on, just pin directly on my body the width that I need for my waist. So that way I can ensure a perfect fit on the first try and I won't have to keep altering this. And then we'll have a more or less finished bodice. We have a bodice. I love it. I don't know what else to say. I am very happy that I was able to get it to where it is right now. I think it looks fantastic, and I am very hopeful for the rest of this journey and the continuation of making the Eowyn Shieldmaiden dress. Let me give it a little spin for you. Excuse the squeaking. The back of the bodice is just very simple. I made 2 long back darts to give the bodice a little bit more shape. The embroidery continues along the top here. I am pretty glad I didn't do the pin tucks because I think that would just have made it very complicated. And I think it looks fine like this. And I don't think I will ever wear this with my hair up anyway, so it doesn't matter too much what's happening on the neckline. I'm very happy with it so far. The linen works. Again, so far we haven't had any drapey bits yet. For the next video, I think I want to do the sleeves, which is gonna be a whole journey because the sleeves are like the main feature of this dress. But I do have a pretty good idea of how I want to do them. And if it works out the way I think, it should be a fairly simple pattern. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's gonna be for another video because this one is getting pretty long. For some reason, this was very complicated. I do hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you are as excited as I am to continue this gown project because I cannot wait to see how this will turn out. Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see the rest of this gown being created. Remember to check out Squarespace if you're looking to build a website anytime soon. Remember to check out Squarespace if you're looking to build a website anytime soon. There is another video that I think you might also enjoy. You can go watch right here. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you very soon in my next video.